Hi guys, it's Elizabeth. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are going to talk about tongue, speaking in tongue. You guys know I'm a Christian, so we're gonna talk about that. Sorry guys if I, keep going like my throat is, it's aggravating me. I have my water. You know. Okay, let's talk. One thing that is very important for us to know about ourselves is that we are spirits who has a soul that lives in a body. Okay, we are having a human experience. We and excuse me. And the thing about it is that I think it's very unfortunate because we are not taught about our spirit, our spirituality, about our, spirit self. We um we are born, that told us our name, that start calling us our name. We are a cute little baby, we have mommy. The ones that are very blessed have daddy as well. It should be a norm, but today's society. So you got mommy, right? Excuse me. And that told you that you were, I don't know, Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. Oh my God. Or Natasha. Oh my God. Or Nadine. Oh my God. Or Ruth or whatever your name is, and they're like, you're such a pretty girl. Oh my God. Or look at my handsome boy. Oh my God. But no one talks about your spirit self. So you grow up thinking you are that. You are a flesh. You are human. You are that. You know, and it's like it's as if, you know, a person who is wearing a costume, right? And they think that they are that costume. For example, let's say the person um is wearing a Batman costume. Just like let's say Batman, right? I think Batman's real name is Bruce, right? Let's say Bruce, right, grew up wearing the Batman costume and he thought he was Batman and that was that. Excuse me. Not that Batman was part of who he was, but he was Batman and he did not recognize that he was Bruce, right? So it's the same with us humans. We grow up and you're a girl or you're a boy and that's it, but no one's really teaches you about yourself, your spirit, because we are spirits who live in a body who has a soul. That's what we are. And when you're a Christian, and I'm pretty sure other than the religion has some type of tongue that speak as well, especially when it comes to like people who practice witchcraft. I believe there's that too. I don't know, don't quote me. But I know as Christian, right, we can receive gifts, like from the spirit. We can receive gifts such as tongue, right? When you speak in tongue, it's basically you're speaking a language that is foreign to you. You A lot of people who speaks it don't know what they're saying, and a lot of people who speak it only on special occasion. They don't speak it like regularly. They just speak it, when they're in a service and they feel like the spirit of God is moving and there's some miracles happening and stuff like that. And they'll start speak it for like briefly, like for like 2 seconds, and that's it. Paul said to us that we should speak in tongue, we should pray in tongue, because tongue should not be something you speak when you're at a service and you feel like the Spirit of God is moving, so you speak it for like 2 minutes, okay? It shouldn't be that. It should be a language just like any other language that you speak, and you should speak it fluently. I remember when I received my tongues, because I speak in tongue, and I was in a service, I was like 15, I think. 15, yeah, I was 15. And my dad used to bring me to this service. I think it was this service. I think was it a Saturday morning? They were doing a revival thing, I believe. Um, Saturday morning or night. It's either a night. Was it a night? It could either be a Saturday morning or Friday night. I don't remember. But this person came and he said, he has the gift to help people receive the gift of a tongue. So if you want to receive your tongues, you come up, he'll pray with you and you'll speak it. So we went forward and to receive the gift of tongue. And so he's praying and stuff like that. And he's telling people to like basically mimic him. And as you mimic him, you will develop your own tongue. So we started doing that and I got my tongues. But my dad didn't really get his tongue. He would get like to like, it was very he didn't get like a fluent tongue. He would get like he would speak like, for example, he would say like shakabaya, shakabaya, ataka, shakabaya, ataka. And then he couldn't like speak it fluently and continue, he'll say like two things or three things in there. And then when he asked me after the service, yo, did you get your blessing? And I was like, yeah, I got my tongues and I started speaking it. And then he was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, well, I can say on shakatabaya, ataka. And then he couldn't, he wasn't fluent. But this man practiced. He practiced and he would pray in tongue and he would say these two little words and he will say it and he'll pray and he'll pray it and more he'll get more words and more words and more words. Now he speaks it fluently. And I remember when I first got my tongue, I had a friend and she was like, she didn't used to go to church and she was like, oh, so I was telling her what happened at church. I was very excited. And she was like, well, people who serve the devil speaks it too, right? They speak in tongue, right? And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, and they sound just like you. And I was so scared, right, guys? I was like, what? They speak it over there. And sorry guys, I just saw a text on my phone. And I was like, what? The spigot over there? She's like, yeah, because she came from a family who that are into witchcraft. She's like, yeah, they do that. And I was like, oh my God. So I stopped speaking it because I didn't want any association with that type of, lifestyle. And but that wasn't wise. So, but my dad, he kept at it, he kept at it, he kept at it, you know, and he got better. And I told him what my friend said, and he was basically like, don't listen to her, use your tongue. And so I've been using it. And after a while, it took me a few years to be honest. But I was young, and so I wasn't into like, oh my God, I'm gonna speak in tongue and speak it. When I pray, sometimes I would use it, but I was like many people, I wanted to know what I'm saying. I don't want to speak in a tongue that I don't understand. Like, what am I saying? Like, I felt some type of gratification when I was praying and I understood exactly what I was saying. So that's why I wasn't really using my tongue to speak. But my dad encouraged me. And I do want to, excuse me, I do want to encourage you to speak in tongue. And if you're one of those people who only has like a few words, shakata, shakata, yibaya, what, like you only say a few things, you're not fluent in tongue, practice it, It's a language like any other language. I speak it fluently. The same way I speak English, I speak tongue. I speak in tongue. The same way I speak Creole, I speak in tongue. I believe that I speak in tongue better because you know why? I have no accent in tongue. At least that's what I think. I open my mouth and I speak it. I have no accent, you know and I can just speak it, and I can speak to God. I can let my spirit, my true self, the connection with what connects me with God, because your spirit comes from God. You have a soul, and that's kind of personal. A little bit apart from God, but your spirit is what comes directly from God, and that's what really connects you from God. The Bible says that He seeks people that worship Him in spirit and in truth, right? Spirit. So it's really important to let your spirit talk to its maker, because when you die, your spirit goes straight to God. It is your soul that's going to be judged, right? Not your spirit. Your soul is going to be judged, and the battle is between your soul. It's for your soul, it's not for your spirit. Your spirit is going back to where it came from, straight to God. That's where your spirit is going to go. But your soul, that is yet to be determined. Okay, He came to save. We know that the Son of God came to save us. He came to save our soul, not our spirit, because the spirit belonged to God, came from God. We return back to God. So it's really important to let your spirit speak to its maker, to basically speak to its maker, because it's going back to God no matter what. Let him speak with God. Let him, intercede for you. Let the spirit man talk. Open your mouth and speak in tongue. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Don't say, well, these people who practice witchcraft, they speak in tongue. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, there are spirits as well. Everybody walking on earth are spirits who live in a body, who has a soul. And we all have a tongue, but we don't know how to use it. We haven't been taught. We have been taught to speak Creole, English, Spanish, Portuguese, and all these other languages, so that we can conversate. But we haven't learned the language of our spirit. We don't know that. A lot of people don't tap into their spirit, into the spirituality. We're just doing our human thing, we're doing things that directly affect our soul. A lot of people don't do things that directly affect their spirit. So therefore, speak in tongue. Open your mouth and speak and pray when you don't know what is going on. Sometimes, right? We get this gut feeling, okay, that something is wrong, but we don't know what it is. Open your mouth and speak in tongue, pray in tongue, because you don't know what it is, but you have a gut feeling that something is going on. Your spirit is telling that is in tune, with the maker is telling you, yo, something is going on. So open your mouth and let the spirit man pray. Okay? Pray in tongue. Open your mouth. Don't worry what people think of you. And pray. When you're in church, you could pray in tongue. When you're at home, pray in tongue. Wherever you pray in tongue, if you like in public or something, you don't want to appear crazy, you could pray in tongue under your breath. Okay, you're driving, you could pray in tongue, but pray in tongue, make it a habit. And I'm gonna pray in tongue more now too, because praying in tongue is better than praying in your human language. Okay, so it's like a kid, right? that, let's say the kid was born in Haiti, right? I'm Haitian. Let's say the kid was born in Haiti and then came here when he or she is 5 years old. So they learn how to speak English, right? And it's been so long. If their parents don't conversate with them in Creole, Haitian Creole, they could forget the Creole. But that doesn't mean they didn't learn it, or it's not part of them. So they could be, so they're conversing in English. They basically have no accent, okay, because they've been here since they were really young, and they speak English fluently. And now, after so many 20 years, 30 years, I forget Creole. That is very natural for them to forget Creole. They don't speak it regular. They don't speak it, period. So how will they not forget Creole? It's the same thing with your tongue. You haven't been speaking it since you were born. You haven't been speaking in tongue. So it is hard for you to know your tongue because you haven't been speaking it. But that does not mean it's not part of you. To those people who've been in, like, services that, or that God has blessed with, that has found their tongue, speak it. When you're praying, pray with it. Even Paul from the Bible says, pray with your tongue, pray in tongues constantly, pray in tongue. So when you're praying in tongue, the Spirit is speaking. The Spirit who knows you, the Spirit is speaking because it's you, your spirit who lives in a body who has a soul. The Spirit man knows your beginning. Okay, so speak in tongue. No, the Spirit knows God. Speak in tongue. Pray in tongue. Pray in tongue. Open your mouth and pray in tongue. Okay, keep at it. People could say, you know what, these witchcraft people, this witches, this warlord speaks in tongue as well. What makes you different than them? Well, we are all spirit, and if that person knew, that could speak in tongue too. So it's nothing. It's like an American saying, "Oh, well, these people speak English too, so what makes you different from them speaking English?" Duh. Like, you are American, they're American. Of course, they're speaking English. They were raised here, you know? So the same thing is your spirit, their spirit, and this person is a spirit, and that person is a spirit. We all living in a body, we all have a soul, so of course we all have a tongue. And we all can speak in tongue, but not everybody has tapped into it yet. So don't let people who has not tapped into their tongue come and intimidate you, scare you about using your tongue to pray and connect with God. Pray in tongue every day, guys. Don't be discouraged. Pray in tongue, pray in tongue. Shakatarabaya, kerereku, sakataka, berereki, eshekuraka babasaka, ekiriku mamaha, atiakurubuku sakatereke, eshekerereki busaka, matrakataka, ekurububuku sakaya. Pray in tongue, pray in tongue, pray in tongue. And sometimes when you're praying and you feel like your tongue is switching, let it switch, baby. Let it switch. Let it switch. So let your tongue switch. Because sometimes I'm praying, and I'm saying, God, this, that, and the third. And my tongue is switching to tongue. And I start praying in tongue. And then I'm trying to revert it back to normal, well, to human language. And it's saying, no, I want to stay in tongue. And sometimes I'm like, no, I want to know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna work on it too. I'm gonna work on praying more in tongue. You too, please, if you want, pray in tongue too. Okay, let's pray in tongue together. Okay, if you have tapped into that point, you have your tongue. Pray in tongue. And when you're praying and you feel like your language is switching, your tongue is switching and it's making the sound you're not really familiar with, let it do its thing. Okay, let it do its thing and then start practicing it because you're not gonna forget it. And practice it before you know you're gonna be fluent in that tongue. And that is the language of your spirit man or woman, whatever, your spirit. Let's just say it's your spirit. It's the language of your spirit. And open your mouth and pray, all right? Pray and pray and pray and pray in tongue. But it's better to pray in tongue than to not pray in tongue. Thank you guys for tuning in. My time is up. I'm going to sleep now. It's getting late here. It's 11:14 p.m. over here. So I made this for you. I hope you like it. I hope you find it useful. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. Pray in tongue. Okay?